Well, with that, I
Mm,
know, people are coming
yeah.
on right now. Welcome, you guys. If you're here for culinary medicine, you are in the right place. Before we get started, as people are coming on, we do ask if you mute your microphone and turn off your camera so we can have the focus on, hi, nice to see you guys, have our focus on our chef and on the food. We are glad you made it. So I'm going to, Heather, hand it over to you.
Okay. Yeah. So, because it is 5 o'clock already, the time goes by fast already when we're having fun, and we got a lot to cover. So, welcome everybody. If you're new with us today, just a few tips here on how to navigate Microsoft Teams. So, as Allison mentioned, we'll just, as you guys have already done, right, keep our microphones muted, our cameras off, so that we highlight Chef and her cooking. Feel free to interact with us through that chat function. So, if you can navigate over there, just say hi. If you have any questions as we go along, feel free to type them there, and we'll be keeping an eye out for that and pausing for questions along the way as well. But here's your team that's with you today. We'll introduce ourselves. So we've got Chef Alyssa. So she's been a personal chef with over 25 years of experience. So blessed to have her. She's got so much knowledge. She makes class fun and doable and non-threatening for people that, you know, haven't cooked a lot before. I hope you can walk away feeling more confident. And then you've got Allison Welch and myself. We're both wellness coaches. Allison's over on the Big Island, and I'm here on Maui. And we're just here to support you with this and hopefully spark your interest and curiosity about what this whole plant-based movement is all about. Um, and maybe you're wondering, what is such a big deal about this if you're coming to class? Well, it's not only a way to reduce your carbon footprint in about half, it's also been shown to prevent and reverse chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes and coronary artery disease. And that's a really big deal. How many of you want to reverse or prevent disease? I hope every hand goes up, right? We all want to do that. And this is one of those, right, tools that we have that we can be empowered with in our shopping, in our own homes, to be able to enact that change. But what does this mean, whole food plant-based? Well, it's a diet that celebrates its food in its natural form, closest to the way it was grown, really simple, right? Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds, and kind of minimizing the processed foods, the refined sugars, the white flour, animal derived food. So we're really shopping right around the perimeter of our grocery stores and choosing foods that our ancestors would probably recognize, as food. And I know this can seem a little daunting, right? When we've eaten a certain way our whole life, we didn't grow up with a lot of these things. So I like this simple phrase that Michael Pollan coined, and we like to integrate that into our class to simplify it. Eat food, not too much, and mostly plants. So we want to eliminate any barriers to this. A lot of times we think about vegetables, and we think back to when we were kids and we had to sit at the table till you eat your vegetables, and it was like a chore to eat them. Hopefully you're going to start to see these things as being delicious, and we hope that you'll stick with us not just for today's class, but going forward in the whole series that we offer, because you can really build up a nice repertoire of recipes along the way. So have an open mindset. Um, Now, while we're going to share some information with you today, if you do want to learn more, I highly encourage you to check out this wonderful video series that the Stanford School of Medicine put together in 2016. It's called Food and Health. And it's a series of 17 videos. They're short, you guys. They're like 3 to 5 minutes. They give really practical skills and information on how and why we want to eat healthier. So I put the link in the chat there. You should be able to click on that. It goes to YouTube, and you can just watch those videos on your own at your convenience. Also want to just take a brief moment to touch on the handouts that were included in your registration email. Specifically this one, which is called the Healthy Plate. Some of you might remember the food pyramid, right, that a lot of us grew up with. Now it's changed. It's morphed into this concept of the healthy plate. And you can see it's divided into these three quadrants. So we got vegetables as being half the plate, a fourth of it with a protein, and a fourth of it with a whole grain. The nice thing I like is it's no longer just meat. right? They say protein, and that means we can include plant-based proteins, which are the beans, the lentils, the tofu, the types of things that we're going to be introducing in these classes. Main takeaway from this, you guys, is just make it colorful. You want to look down at a plate of food that just brings joy to you. You're excited to eat it. You feel good before it's even gone into your body. So if you're moving in that colorful plate direction, you know that you're going the right way. And if you want to learn more about the healthy plate specifically, we do have a 90-minute virtual class taught by our registered dietitians. And that class is called Get Your Plate in Shape, and explores a lot of different meals in this format. But we're going to share some more about our other classes at the end today. So if you're interested, you can check that out and stay with us. Before we get into the cooking, I'm going to pull up some of the recipes that Chef's going to be preparing today. Our topic is all about oats. So she'll be showing different oat preparations. We're going to briefly review these ingredients together. Just as a quick reminder, the email invitation to join class has the links for these recipes. So you can print them out, you can save them for yourself. I'm going to just forward here. So this is what it should look like, right? It has that healthy plate I just showed. You've got our class flyer, and you've got some of the recipes there you can print off at home. If that's hard, we can also pull them up. You can take a screenshot. Um, Lastly, the recipes we're sharing today can be adapted to your own personal tastes and preferences. We know people are coming in with a wide range of knowledge. Some of you, this might be your first time and just trying to get what this is all about. For others of you, you've become a little more savvy in the kitchen, and you're refining that process for yourself. So absolutely, we can make substitutions. Like I said, we encourage your questions, put them in the chat. We'll give Chef an opportunity to answer them. So congratulate yourself for being here. Enjoy watching and learning. Did I forget anything, Allison? We got it all?
Wow. No, Heather, you got it all. I'm just
Okay.
excited. Let's get
All
cooking.
right, let's get cooking. So
Or
I'm going
let's
to
get
move this
talking first. You go
talk,
first.
talking then cooking. So we're going to pull up the recipes here. Chef, I'll pass the baton over to you, and you can just kind of review these together, and then I'll take the PowerPoint down, you guys, and we will highlight her screen.
All right, so we've got the overnight chia oats is up on the screen now, and that one is just so nice and simple, and it's a great. Both of these recipes are good for our lifestyle of on the go. So the overnight chia oats is you're just going to take old-fashioned oats and put it in a mason jar and add a bunch of ingredients, shake it up, and put it in the fridge and let it sit overnight to thicken up. And then the next morning, you're going to top it as you like. And then you can take it with you to work and eat it when you get there, or whenever you're hungry. After a workout, you've got a wonderful breakfast full of all kinds of nutrition, fiber, and lots of different flavors.
Yeah, I love the variety that they've gotten here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And then we got the breakfast oatmeal cupcakes. We can have cupcakes for breakfast. Are you sure? No.
Yeah. This is a creative way to bake some oatmeal. You mix, again, it's a very simple recipe. You just take whole oats and you mix in a bunch of different ingredients. We've got raisins and cinnamon, and we mash a banana in with some water, or you can also add like almond milk instead of the water, some sort of a liquid. Then you mix it together, and then you put them in cupcake molds and bake them. And then when they're done, you can pop them out of the molds and put them in a baggie and take them with you, or have them before work. They're great on-the-go snacks, breakfast, however you want to plug them in. Late afternoon when you get hungry. They're very versatile.
Great. So thanks for going through both of those. I'm going to stop sharing here so that we can highlight you. And I really like how you said these are kind of on the go, so you can make them ahead of time. They're easy to get them walking out the door, so no excuses, right, for not having a snack, or you can eat them in the car, whatever you're doing. Okay.
And you can really just make it how you like it. That's what's fun too about both of these recipes. You can really tailor it to your own taste. So we have, do you want me to get going and start it?
Let's get started.
We're going to start with the breakfast oatmeal cupcakes, because I want to put them in the oven and have them bake. And then just kind of so you can see that whole, I do have some that are already made. that I did have for recipe, and I've already brought them out. They're still warm out of the oven, but I just want to show you the whole way I do it. So what I did was, again, I have half a recipe. I baked off half, so I'm gonna talk it through like we're doing a full recipe. So we have 2.5 cups of rolled oats, and these are just whole oats. They're not the quick oats. And I've got them in a bowl, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Excuse me. And then I have cinnamon, flax meal. It can be golden or brown flax. It's just ground flax seeds. I like the golden flax personally. I like the flavor. It's a little milder. And then I have some ripe banana. Now, half a recipe is 3/4 of a cup. No, half a recipe is a little under 3/4 of a cup. And 1 apple banana is about that. Just figure if you guys use apple bananas, it would be about 2 apple bananas. And what I did here is, because apple bananas tend to be a little bit more firm, I'm just slicing it. Otherwise, you know, you can just mash it real easily in a bowl, or I have this in a glass measuring cup. So I just sliced it in, and then I'm going to add, I have some maple syrup and my water. So I'm putting all the liquid ingredients with the banana. I have a little bit of oil, and this is avocado oil. I just want some sort of oil that doesn't have a strong flavor. If you used like unrefined coconut oil, that might work here because it's, you know, could probably marry well with the flavors of this recipe. I have a little bit of vanilla, and I'm going to mix the dry, and then I'm going to use a stick blender. This is the bottom part of the stick blender to pulse this together. Okay, so I'll be right back. It's all over in the kitchen. Quickly pulse it.
Yeah, I love those immersion blenders, I think they call them. I finally got one, and they come in really handy so you don't have to transfer stuff over into a blender while it's hot. If you're making soup or something, you can just kind
They
of,
are great.
yeah, just put it into the soup pot and kind of blend it up. Yeah.
And they're really easy to clean. And the thing that is nice,
They
aren't that expensive either. So it's a nice tool to have.
Yeah, good kitchen tool.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So this is
Wow, look at that magic.
Yeah, I left it a little chunky. It's kind of fun to have little pieces of banana. And then I'm just going to add this in.
Now, Alyssa, sometimes applesauce can be used in place of oil. Have you ever tried that with this?
Yeah, you could definitely use applesauce here.
Okay.
So for dried fruit, I'm choosing raisins. You can do whatever you desire.
I think that's the joy. Cherries sometimes are good. Apricots, it just depends on what you enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the season, Heather.
I love the way raisins plump up, you know, when they absorb liquid. Okay, so here we go. That was it. Nice and easy.
Wow.
And then I have these little silicone cupcake molds that are square. I mean, it could be round, it could be a cupcake tin. And with the silicone ones, I have a little toaster oven, a little smart oven. That's a toaster and a convection. So I just put them here on a baking sheet like this. That's the way I work with muffin cups.
Now tell us about these silicone cups. So do you have to spray them at all with anything? Are they pretty easy to clean?
They are easy to clean. These guys have a little bit of ridges, so it is easier, I have found, with this style. See, hold on a sec. Through the years, I've tried different styles, and I have ones that I absolutely love, but I only have like 2 of them left. Are these little, they're very flexible, but they're also super easy to clean. And but I can't find them. I just haven't really hunted around too much.
Yeah, that's great. So then we don't have to dispose of all the little paper cups that we normally would buy.
Yeah, I don't have good luck with paper cups. They always stick. So
Oh.
yeah, unless you're just presenting it to somebody and then you don't know what happens once they eat it.
Okay, so if you're using a paper cup, it might stick in there a little bit, so might need to put a little grease or something there.
Yeah, I have found there's a small can that I like of avocado oil. It's a spray at Target. It's 5 ounces. And so I just did a little spray of that. This is like under $4 for, it kind of comes out heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of silicone, another silicone. I have a silicone.
A little brush.
Yeah, so I'll just transfer that. So excuse me for the helicopters, whatever that is.
Yeah, I got to invest in some of these silicone.
They are
things.
handy.
Yeah.
They really are.
Do you have some, Allison?
I do. I have one, I bought one that was bigger, that was the shape of a heart for a cake. And I was really nervous kind of with that, going, do I have to oil it or don't I? And I think it works without it, but I'm always the same. I'm always putting a little just to be safe, but they wash so easily. So it's nice.
Oh, that's good, because I was worried about the washing part if it gets
and the cooking, but they really are safe to cook on. So
okay. And if you have a dishwasher,
yeah, that's true. I don't know. So you don't have to let the oats soak at all before you cook them.
No, okay. So then what I do is I just use this for the ease of it, so I don't make a big mess. I just have one of these scoopers. And you can add nuts if you want, some walnuts or pecans or pumpkin seeds like you were talking about. And you can play with, you can change out the spices, either one of these recipes, right? You can add a little nutmeg, pumpkin pie spice. You can just cardamom. You can have all kinds of fun.
Yeah. You could even kind of probably split the batch in half and do like some one spice, some another spice if you want to play with it, right? Get creative.
Yeah, you could, and sometimes you can just top it with different things. I like to kind of top things to make them look pretty. It could be a little sliver of a fig or a little bit of a walnut or half of a pecan. Just so
presentation.
Presentation. So sometimes I like to do that.
And I think what's so nice is that sometimes we get caught up thinking we have to make things that are really hard, or it doesn't have to be hard. And sometimes it's so nice to know we've got these things in our cupboard. Let's make it. It's something healthy and good, something we can take on the go, and you can feel really good about it. So I just love this recipe.
Yeah, this is super simple so far.
Right. See, so then I just kind of flatten it. So a whole recipe makes about 12. For me. So this is the 6. I'm going to pop these in the oven. So 350, about 20-25 minutes till they start looking firm and a little toasty on the top.
Yeah, you can make that on a weekend and easily have that for snacks or breakfast during the week, right? Breakfast is done.
24, what did I say, 24? Okay, all right, there we go. So then when they're done, you can just pop them out of these little molds. These ones I topped with a little bit of figs. Currants are nice too. Yeah, apricots would be really good.
Why not quick oats was a question.
Very good question. I
wonder if they'd get mushier.
Yeah, I think the consistency is just different. I'm trying to remember whether I ever made it with quick oats or not. I can't remember doing it, but I think it definitely just doesn't have the same consistency.
I would really add to that too. That's part of the thing when the more you take things off, or the more processed they are, the consistency really does change. And we might talk about that a little bit later about the difference between kind of rolled oats and steel cut oats. But for sure, the quicker you cook it, the more that it's been processed up. So that would be my guess too, that you want to have rolled oats because they hold together a little bit better. Those look beautiful, Chef.
Yeah, they do.
I usually, when I'm going to munch on these, I usually take 2. That's about my serving. Is I eat 2 of them. That's just me. So it could be theoretically, right? If you make 12, that'd be like 6 servings. If you have some people, and but just some fun things that are easy to do for kind of on the go, or just when you want something in the morning and you don't really want to take the time. Great to make on the weekends. You can freeze it. I had a friend who used to make this little, the little mini muffin cups, which I actually have a silicone mini muffin cups too. But she used to bake them that way and just have like, bite size. That's kind of fun too. So,
well, I like that idea too of freezing it. So you could always like, make a bigger batch and then put some in the freezer and kind of you're kind of set for a little while.
Yeah, just to hold you, And this is, I do find that in the mid-afternoon, there's something, I'm a little hungry. So this is also a good way you could do this, just to tide you over till dinner, or, after a workout, before a workout. So just some things to think about.
Absolutely. Good. Any questions, you guys, for Chef about this recipe? Does it seem doable to you? You see yourself doing it?
Super simple, huh?
And while they're kind of putting that in, I will say that, for baking, or like when you make cookies or when you make these kind of things, rolled oats usually are the better choice for cooking, because they do break down for this way. That's easier. I know we're going to get into our overnight oats, but a lot of times you will notice for recipes like this, you use rolled oats.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. The
Yeah.
old-fashioned rolled oats.
Old-fashioned rolled oats. So it's always good to have both of them in your
It is. I have
pantry.
certain recipes that specifically say quick cooking oats, and you know what I do? I keep them in the freezer. I don't know, like
That's a
if
good
I have
idea.
like an open thing of oats, because our fridges are usually so filled with stuff that normally you could leave on the counter, but we can't here, and so I end up putting it in the freezer if it's an oats type of oats that I don't use frequently.
Yeah.
Just for baking or things like that.
Right,
Well,
right.
how about I throw in, while you're getting ready for the next one, I give us a few little fun facts about oatmeal.
Yeah.
People are not already excited about oats as I am.
If they're not converted by oats already,
If
you
they
can
aren't
push us
ready,
over
yeah.
the
So
edge.
we do know they're really nutritious, right? That it's such a good source of carbs and fiber. They also have protein. Oats are among the most nutrient dense foods that you can eat. So that's really nice to know. They're rich in antioxidants. They're powerful, soluble fiber, so which is really good. And we know that they really do help with our digestion, slowing things down. And you had a good one talking about what were you were saying earlier, Heather, about for our blood sugars, right?
Yeah.
They're really very helpful for our
And
blood sugars
cholesterol.
and
Yeah.
regulating type 2 diabetes. They can help cholesterol levels, which we know they're really a good source. So that's really important. And they really, if you're trying to, if you're thinking about your weight and really working on managing it, people get so worried about like what they're eating and, oh, am I eating too many carbs? This is one that is so good. It's really filling, and it can actually help you lose weight because it keeps you full longer. So don't get scared of carbohydrates. Don't get scared of eating oatmeal. It's such a good source. It's also great for your skin. I don't know how many of you, when you were younger, I remember when I had chicken pox, I had that oatmeal bath. They really helps with eczema. It's good for everything. Helps keep our system going, clears us out because of the fiber. So I don't know if you're not sold yet.
Like an all
There's
around,
yeah, it's a
well
really
balanced. What a way to start
exactly.
the morning with all of these good things already happening. And like you said, I like how it just slows down, right? The emptying of the stomach. You feel fuller longer. I know if I eat oats in the morning, I feel full, right? Until almost lunchtime.
It's amazing. I mean, it's got all these iron, zinc, folate, vitamin B, vitamin B5. It's got so many things, and it's a high quality protein. So I'll give you that. Look at that beautiful setup. So,
That looks
all right.
really
Hope I
great.
got you kind of excited about your oats for breakfast tomorrow.
You did. Oh, and we have
All right.
a couple questions in there. So Lori said, would it be considered oat cake?
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. And then,
well, yeah, this is actually a different than the oat cake recipe that I have, but yeah.
get some of that.
So I
And
don't know
then
if I
our oats gluten-free, and yeah, you can buy gluten-free oats.
Yes,
They
you
have,
can.
it says on the packaging,
Yes.
and you can purchase them specifically gluten-free.
Yes. I buy
But you
them
do
all
have to
the
look at
time.
the packets. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
have
do
to
have to
look.
look at the packaging.
Mhm.
Yeah, it will say it on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great questions, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right, and we're all set up for chia oats.
Yeah, so this is one where, you know, if you tend to be a jar person like I am, I love to have jars. So this is a mason jar, which is a 2-cup, looks a little bit, 2-cup mason jar. You just basically pour in your oats, and these again are old-fashioned oats. See if I can do this gracefully. Let me show you something. This is kind of cool. This is one of my favorite kitchen tools, this wide mouth funnel. Can you see it?
Maybe put it
Yeah.
over the chia seeds.
Oh, look at that.
Right
There you
over the rim of your wide mouth.
I need one of those. I'm always
Yeah.
spilling them stuff all over. I try to make a funnel with my hand and it goes everywhere in the kitchen.
Transferring soup, anything
Yeah.
liquidy, a smoothie, it just,
Oh.
yeah, makes life a lot
Perfect.
easier. Okay, so we have the oats, and then these are chia seeds. So chia seeds, if you're not familiar with them, they will, when you add liquid to it, they thicken up and they make a big gel, and they are really good source of fiber. You could also use flax seeds instead, or flaxseed meal. Chia seeds come in black, and they also come in like a whitish gray, which is also known as salba, S-A-L-B-A, which is white chia seeds. So there's two choices. You know, the white sometimes, you know, depending on what you're doing, is sometimes more visually attractive if you know, that's an issue. These are fun because they look like, you know, little seeds. So the chia go in, which they are. And then we're going to add dried fruit. So today in this one, I have cranberries. And I don't know if you've seen this before, like sometimes you go to a health market and they have these rolled date pieces. And these are coconut rolled dates. So I thought, oh, that would be good, you know, whatever you have in the house. So I am just going to cut this little date roll.
Is it best to use dried fruits at this point versus fresh fruits, or does it matter?
You really can do both. I tend to do the fresh at the end because they can be a little watery. You can put frozen ones in, but sometimes it makes it a little more watery too. So
I agree with you there. Putting the dried fruit in, it really absorbs overnight, and then have your fresh fruit in the morning and just for whenever you're eating them and put them on top. Yeah, and really get all the value of that good fresh fruit.
So then, because we talked about it earlier, and it's the season, I'm going to add in some fresh, some canned pumpkin. Just for the fun of it.
Yeah, I hope you like it. I just saw that and it looks so good, and 'tis the season, right? We're coming into pumpkin time.
Yep.
And cinnamon, but I was thinking I should have, you know, I'm not sure if I had pumpkin pie spice, but this would be a great time to put pumpkin pie spice in if you were going to do pumpkin, yeah, just for the fun of it. And then I had some salt, just a little bit to balance, and then sweetener of choice. So this is really something you can choose if you want. You know, you really don't have to, right? Because you've got the dried fruit. So this is your call whether you want to add sweetener, add less sweetener. I'm just going to add, this is coconut sugar, so, and it's sticking because I did it earlier. I'm just going to put a little bit in, maybe a teaspoon.
Although we did get a question, want to make sure, and I kind of answered too, but how much pumpkin did you put in? 1 tablespoon?
It looks like, I think it's about 2 spoonfuls.
Yep. Okay.
But you know, I just happen to have it in the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, 2 tablespoons you put in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were good size.
I think what's nice with these overnight oats, which is sort of nice for the people who don't like that are scared to cook and measuring sometimes, I'm talking about myself, is there's some flexibility here. That's the
There's
joy of
lots
overnight oats. You really don't get scared, you know.
You can play with it all you like,
Yes,
and then,
exactly.
excuse me, after, it's done the next morning, you can,
You can still play
doctor it
with
up.
it, adjust it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
exactly. And all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. So now I'm going to add the cup of oat, almond, or other milk. And mine is, what did I do? I have almond milk today. So I have almond milk. Oh, yeah, right to the edge. Okay. And
Do you
then
kind of
I'm
think of
just,
a ratio for your milk to oats? Kind of
well,
like
I
when we're cooking?
have, yeah, 1/2 to 1
Yeah.
to work good. If it gets too thick, you can always add more. I just don't want it runny. Yeah.
And if
Mm.
you're
First,
like me and you add a lot of extra chia seeds, because I love the crunch, you might need to add a little bit more
exactly.
liquid because I like a lot of chia
Yeah, because the
seeds.
chia seeds are going to absorb all
Yep,
that liquid, right? And as well as the oats and kind of
that's right.
thicken it up overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't,
But I
yeah, don't.
like
You can adjust it. Yeah, right. If it's real
Yeah.
thick,
Well,
you can
and I
add
like how
more.
you were mindful of like the dried fruits are going to have more sugars in them. So
Yeah.
then you want to kind of maybe ease back on adding any other sugar to it because they'll kind of add to it. So
Right. And
yeah,
it depends on your
trial and
dried
error.
fruit. Like how sweet are they? Like the dates are pretty sweet, right? So I thought, oh, better cut that back a little bit. And I personally like to add just a drizzle of something like maple or honey,
Mm.
just at the end if, because I again grew up that way. So I put the leftover chia in there, and I'm going to put the lid on. I did stir it, but I'm just going to do a quick shake, and then I'm going to put that in the fridge. And then that is probably, that would be probably 2 meals for me. Well, we'll see how hungry I am in the morning, but yeah, that's a good amount. So what I did this morning was I made half a recipe, which really that's interesting, right? Yeah, that's 1/4 of a cup. So I'm going to show you now that this is without the pumpkin, and I put figs in it. This is what I got after letting sit all day, which would be kind of theoretically like overnight. I've got a nice, and if you like it kind of, again, I'm thinking back kind of like when I was growing up, in the cold weather, my mom would maybe pour some warm milk over it, and I'm just thinking probably butter, knowing my mom, and a little maple syrup, brown sugar, yeah. But I would be tempted to probably put a drizzle of, or like oat creamer or something, make it a little milky. You could do it that way too. Again, this is however you want it. And then I do have some berries which were frozen. I was looking for fresh, and there wasn't a lot of options. I tend to try and always look for organic, so maybe that was my slowing down finding it. But I've got a little bit of blueberries, raspberries here. You could do shredded coconut, pumpkin seeds, walnuts. Oh my gosh, you could have so much fun with all your choices. I'm just trying to make it pretty, as you can see.
It does look pretty. I love that bowl with it.
Yeah, my little lotus bowl, and then
Yeah.
just a drizzle of maple. It doesn't have to be much, just. And it could even be, if you're into yogurt, you could put a dollop of a nice yogurt. I recently tried Harmless Harvest. It has like this. It's a very light, but it's a coconut-based yogurt. It's really delicious. Not too not tangy. You can put a dollop of that on kind of and mix it in, or Greek yogurt if you do dairy. So again, this is just so much fun. I mean, the variables on what you can do. And then you have a nice hearty start to your day.
Love it. It's fantastic. And yeah, exactly. I really like it sometimes when you make your overnight oats, you just sort of have your base. You might do your chia seeds. Sometimes I've done a little bit of the Greek yogurt with the almond milk, putting it in for the overnight, and it gives it a really nice consistency. So that's a nice one as well.
Yeah, and we'd love to
Really,
hear if any of you guys have tried this at home. Maybe you're already making overnight oats. You can share some of your tips or maybe favorite fillings as well. That looks beautiful.
Exactly. So I
huh?
do want to just, unless you have something, I just kind of want to, I'm sure people have questions a little bit about the differences between the steel cut versus the regular. I will try to say, because as a big overnight oats fan, I'm like, oh, I'll try steel cut oats. They don't work in the overnight oats. So you guys
That's true.
don't do steel cut oats in your
Yeah.
overnight unless someone has done them here. Please chat that in. But they don't, it's unless you really want that crunch. The thing with steel cut oats is they're slow and long cooking, which is delicious. It's, their rolled oats are really good. It's just the difference of how they're processed, right? So I don't know if anyone here has, if you're interested in steel cut oats, but for the flat ones, the ones that we're using now, they're steam rolled, right? So they steam and they roll them out so they don't crack and break. And it softens the oat. So that's how it's flattened or squashed to have that appearance. Um,
Mhm.
the more, those quick oats versus old fashioned, again, they're processed more. I would highly recommend really just use the rolled old fashioned oats for this because, again, the texture might change. Oats are really versatile and they're whole grain and there's lots of different ones you can use. But that steel cut, or sometimes you guys might have heard it as being like Irish oats. What happens is they're chopped and they're kind of broken into these pieces that have that with a steel cut oats, that kind of like a pin like appearance. Because of the thickness, they have a chewier texture. They do take longer to cook, but they are a great fiber. Yeah, it's a great source. If you have, I decided once to try to make this in a slow pot, the cooker, because my son's soccer team had an early game. So this is a great way to cook it if you want to. You can put it in a slow cooker, put it on overnight. You can always look up a recipe if you want for steel cut oats. You can turn it on for like on the lowest for 7 to 8 hours, and in the morning you have a pot of really good oats and kind of the same thing. Have the toppings on the side, have some nuts, have some, fruit, add however you want to, bananas, or you could do dry fruit in there, but it's another great option. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that, Chef.
Well, I recently found this on sale, the Bob's Red Mill, and it's what you were talking about. It's called Irish steel cut oats, also known pinned as Irish oats. And so they're the whole oats that are kind of cut into chunks. And I followed the instructions. It's kind of cute. There's a little blurb called the Golden Spurtle, and this guy won. He went to Ireland and he entered into a contest, an oatmeal big cooking contest, and he won it. So they have this guy's recipe on the back. So I was following it, and it's just simple. It's just, let's see. So, excuse me, I'm trying to look. It's 15 to 20 minutes. So I did that, and it was delicious. And so I really was excited about finding these steel cut oats, and I had some leftovers and I ate it for a couple of days, cold. It was cooked. I had some leftovers in the fridge. I cooked it with some raisins. I tend to, for some reason, like raisins with my oats, and then added some milk the next morning, and it was just wonderful and hearty and filled me. And so I'm really excited to have this as a backup for mornings when I don't have something set up and ready to go.
Highly recommend you give them a try. Love the idea, Lori, about the sweet potatoes diced in. That sounds really good
Oh,
too.
wow.
I will just add a little note. If you guys do the slow cooker, just make sure it doesn't seem like you would need to. Just kind of spray the pot before you put in your liquid and your oats, because it's cooking down all night long, and so it just makes it so it doesn't stick. So that's just my one little pointer that I thought I should add in, because
Yeah.
I've done it both ways, and it's just easier without it. So
I did, well, we were talking before class, I did Google about the Instant Pot, because I thought the question might come up, and it did say it's like 4 minutes, pressure cook in the Instant Pot
wow.
with
Wow.
the release, included, I mean, also, so it's a little longer than 4 minutes, bringing it up to pressure, and then the 4 minutes and the release. But that was just kind of fun to know. You could just pop it in the Instant Pot, and before the way they were presenting it is in the morning, you can put it in, get it going, go get dressed, take a shower, whatever you do to get ready for work. And then when you're ready, it'll be ready. And then you can have a quick bite before you head out the door. So that was kind of a fun idea.
Well, I like
too.
that we've got so many preparations, We've got the no baking at all, just put it in the jar and let it sit overnight. We've got baking in the oven. We can do it on the stove top. We can do it in a pressure cooker or a slow cooker. So, I mean, there are endless options for working with this. Yeah.
And they are, a good price point, as far as, the world is getting a little more expensive.
That's true.
Yeah. And these are nice and hearty and good. They're going to hold you up to lunch most likely. And yeah, it won't break.
And it's better than the processed ones that you can get at grocery stores, where you can just, I'll just pop this in the microwave, and a lot of those have added sugars. I really encourage you guys, if you're not already, look at the labels, look at the fiber, look at the added sugars, those kind of packets that you can get sometimes, that have brown sugar flavorings and all this kind of stuff. Here you have a little bit more control over the ingredients and the preparation of it, and it can be, just as easy.
Yep.
And save
Chef,
money probably too.
I'm gonna ask you to put the bars back on and the oats in the center, so people can have one more look at the on the table. It's kind of the oatmeal, just so we have one more look at them, if you don't mind.
Yeah, and the ones in the
Perfect.
oven, 5 more minutes before they're ready to come out. So
That's great. Oh, that's okay. I was thinking of the one that's right next to it, the finished product, just so we could see. There we go. Fantastic.
Yep.
Look at that. And it is, I think you really have said it. Nowadays, there are so many things, all the inflation. This is such a nutrient dense, gives you everything you need, affordable. You've got your protein, you've got your healthy carbohydrates, you've got your, nutrient rich. Definitely don't be scared of trying oatmeal, for sure.
And if you don't have room in your freezer to store oats, I would just recommend, I personally, I go through food pretty quick because I'm cooking all the time, but I do tend to put any grain, if I can, in either a glass jar or, plastic jar, or just Ziploc bag, just to keep the little buggies. It's amazing how things can get into brown rice and oats, and they're just hungry little guys out there. So
they know something good when they see it, right?
I just, whenever I can, and plus it keeps it, the air out, like if you're doing some sort of crackers or chips or something. So I'm big on Ziplocking and making sure that that I'm going to be able to use it again when I want it.
Yeah.
All right.
Great tips. Any other
Fantastic.
questions, you guys, for Chef? And again, I just love that this is something, no matter how the rest of the day goes, you can feel good about the morning, and you already did something for yourself that's nutritious and energy filled and gets you off to a good start.
Yeah, and it's a good afternoon of having one of those if you're going to have a longer time between your meals. Ideally we talk about eating like every 4 to 5 hours, and if you're going to go longer, having something that's easily accessible like this is great too.
Yeah. Well, while we're seeing if there's any other questions, Alison, do you want me to put the slides back up and we can talk about next month and some other things that are coming up?
That sounds good. And then that's right. Give people back a little gift of time. Chef, those look great. I am motivated to get started.
I am too. That looks really good. I could use one of those snack bites right now.
Exactly.
I know. Just pass it through.
I'm sure that'll be next in the technology world.
Yeah.
Just pass it through the screen.
I kind of like it because often, we always are looking and getting hungry for our dinner foods that we've been doing. It's kind of a nice and refreshing way to get started having something for the morning.
For
So that's
breakfast,
great. Yeah.
yeah,
And our last
exactly.
class next month for the
I
year.
know. So I hope you
Wow.
guys will come next month. It's our last class for 2023. Gosh, that went by really fast.
Yeah.
So November 27th from 5 to 6 p.m. Our topic is going to be holiday sides. So just in time, well, it's after Thanksgiving, but prepping for the next holidays that are coming up right around the corner. So hopefully you can get some good healthy ideas as you move into that. And just a reminder that, if you'd like some support in taking some incremental steps on improving diet or in any of these areas here on the screen, we encourage you to reach out to us, our wellness coaches, which includes Allison and myself. We're here to partner with you. You don't have to do it alone. It can feel a little bit overwhelming. We're going to help you focus on, some small actionable steps, provide you some accountability, and just keep you moving forward with your goals so we can enter 2024 feeling really on task and we got this. So you can make an appointment either by calling the 432-2260 number. Allison, thanks for putting that in the chat. Or you can also go into kp.org, navigate over to the appointments tab, and you can schedule it that way. And in addition to that, we've got a lot of great classes that you might want to check out. We've added some new ones that we're really excited about. And one of them is called Making Peace with Food. So that's a 4-part workshop. So if you want to work on just healing that relationship, right? Mind, body, and food, working on non-judgmental approach, that could be a really healing class for you. We're going to be starting that. We have another class called Exercise is Medicine. So maybe exercise is your next venture point and you just want to get some tips. That's a simple 1-hour class. All of our classes are virtual. They're offered through Zoom. We offer them each month. So if a date and time doesn't work this month, then we encourage you to check out the following month. A lot of them might also be recorded, so we could send them to you that way. Basically, we just want to get this information to you so you can feel empowered in the choices that you're making. The other new one we added was Living Well with Diabetes. So that's a 2-part interactive workshop for tips on eating healthy, staying active, and managing blood sugar with medication. So just so much good information available. We hope you'll take advantage of that. Thanks for putting that in the chat, Allison. And that kind of brings us to the end of our time together today. They were these quick oats were actually quick. And
but you know what I love about it
easily.
is now you guys, we have no excuse not to go into our pantry, find those oats that are in the back, find that jar of chia seeds that we have sitting there. And we saw how quick it was to make it. So I
do
hope
need
that
to
we
use my
really,
chia seeds. I've got a big bag of them and I need
yeah. And so
yeah.
we really appreciate that you come and join us. Chef Alyssa, as always, you inspire us, and we're happy that we get to see you every month. And for everyone who joined in tonight, thank you so much for being here. Did we forget anything, Heather? To get the gift of time.
Yeah, you get 10 minutes back to put towards your food prep this evening.
Yeah. And I do want to just add one thing,
Mhm.
this is to me, as someone who's been doing coaching for forever, one of my favorite times of the year for people to jump in and make a change. And the
Yeah.
reason is you step into the holidays conscious. You're making good choices. You're going to finish this year strong, and you're not going to go, okay, I'm going to wait till New Year's and make changes. So I really encourage you, just take that step, take some action. Small steps really do lead to big changes. So we really are glad you're taking one right now. So give a call if you need some extra support. That's why we're here. And I'll put that in one more time in the chat
Yep.
for us. There we go.
Great tip, Allison. I like that, going into the holiday season consciously, right? And I think you always say,
Conscious
think about how you want
choices,
to be at the end on December 31st, right?
right?
What do you want? What's your goal? Where do you want to be starting the new year?
Exactly. So, all right. Have a great evening, you guys.
Yeah,
Chef,
thanks for
you're going to
being
have
here.
some good oats for breakfast tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, she'll be like, which one do I want to have today?
Exactly. She's going to be, her neighbors are going to love her.
Right.
There you go. Bring around some of those bars.
You had so many good choices.
You're welcome, you guys. Have a great evening. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thanks,
And
everybody.
again, yeah, feel free if you have any questions. We'll stay
Hope to
on for
see
a
you
few
next
more
month.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy our little classes as well. Let's see. So you can share the toppings in the jar, on the jar. What are the toppings? Or maybe
on the jar, like let me see. Oh, whoops.
oh, right. Oh, wait, go
Like
back.
here?
Okay, yeah. They're all, it depends on what you want. It looks like mango, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. What else do we have there? Oh, those look so good. The chia seeds are what get me. Those are my favorite. On the bottom, what else? You could put really anything, right?
Any
Oranges,
fruit.
apples, bananas.
I know.
You
Take
name
whatever
it.
you have in the fridge.
Yeah.
Whatever's on sale is my motto.
That's exactly. Let's see if I can. I wonder if I can. Hold on. I don't know if I can make it just the picture bigger. At least if I put it in the chat, maybe you can. Hold on. Let me see if I can do that just before we go. See if this, see if this goes. See if that opens. If you click on that, maybe it'll. Oh, man, it's not too big. Kind of blurry. Now it looks like there are cherries on one of them. That would be another one. And the thing is that's so nice is you can use frozen fruit. It doesn't have to be fresh. That's what I like is, sometimes you have all those extra and then you have those frozen blueberries and raspberries. So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. And you don't need the sweetener sometimes. Like you don't need the sugar or agave. It really does it. So,
tailor it how it works for you.
yeah. So,
absolutely.
All right.
And you mentioned that sometimes you like to do a little coconut milk. You want something a little richer and creamier, right?
I know. I put mine in when I do it overnight. That's my thing. Although now I'm going to be better. I'll just do a little. I don't have to do all that coconut milk. It tastes so good.
Creaminess. You don't have to do it all.
You're welcome, Lori. All right. All right, Chef, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'm going to close out our session.
Bye.
Bye, you
we'll
guys.
Be in touch.
Talk a little.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.